Dr. Lucas Martinez stared at the screen in his small lab aboard the research station Endeavor. The numbers dancing across the monitor made no sense according to everything he knew about physics. His hands shook as he ran the calculations again. 3 years of failed experiments had led to this moment, and he could barely believe what he was seeing. Amanda Bell rushed over from her workstation, her coffee mug forgotten on the counter. She had been Lucas's research partner since their days at MIT, and she could read his expressions better than anyone. The look on his face told her something incredible had happened. "Run it again," she whispered, pointing at the data stream flowing across multiple screens. "Tell me those readings are real." Ryan Clark looked up from the prototype drive core. He had been adjusting. The chief engineer had joined their team 6 months ago when the project received additional funding from the Department of Defense. Most people thought their work was impossible, but Ryan believed in pushing boundaries. He wiped grease from his hands and walked over to examine the displays. The accident had happened during what should have been a routine test of exotic matter manipulation. Lucas had been trying to create a small energy field that could theoretically bend space around a test object. Instead of the expected gentle curve in space-time, their device had torn a hole straight through it. The readings showed they had achieved faster-than-light travel without using any known method. The probe disappeared for exactly 12 minutes, Amanda said, checking her chronometer against the computer logs. According to its internal clock, it traveled for 3 hours and covered 4 light years. Lucas felt his heart racing. They had sent a simple probe through what appeared to be a tunnel in space itself. The probe had traveled to Proxima Centauri and back in the time it took him to drink a cup of coffee. The implications were staggering. Ryan examined the drive core with new respect. The device looked like nothing special from the outside, just a ring of exotic materials arranged around a central chamber. But somehow it had achieved what humanity had dreamed about for centuries. "The power requirements are minimal," he said, studying the energy readings. "We used less electricity than it takes to run a household microwave." 20,000 light-years away, an alert chimed softly in a monitoring station that had watched Earth for over 200 years. Zixathera of the hegemony felt her 4 hearts skip a beat as the sensors registered an impossible energy signature from the Sol system. She had been assigned to monitor human development because her species specialized in predicting technological advancement. According to all their models, humans should not develop faster than light travel for at least another 1,000 years. The readings made her mandibles click with anxiety. Humans had not just achieved FTL travel. They had done it through a method that violated several laws of physics that the Galactic Council considered absolute. Their technique involved literally tearing holes in the fabric of space-time rather than the gentle folding methods used by every other known species. Zixathera activated the emergency communication array and sent a priority message to the Council headquarters on Nexus Prime. Within minutes, representatives from dozens of species would be reading about humanity's breakthrough. She knew the news would cause panic among the older civilizations. Back on the Endeavor, Lucas was trying to understand how their device worked. The exotic matter they used was not particularly rare or expensive. The arrangement was based on theoretical work from human scientists, but the actual construction had required dozens of failed attempts and lucky accidents. Most importantly, the whole system seemed to respond to quantum fluctuations in ways that no other technology did. "It's like the universe wants this to work," Amanda said, reviewing the test data. "Every time we make a small adjustment, the system compensates and becomes more efficient." Ryan was already sketching plans for a larger version. "If we scale this up, we could build a drive system for a full-size spacecraft." The engineering challenges are not that difficult. Lucas felt a mixture of excitement and fear. They had achieved something that would change human civilization forever, but he wondered if they were ready for the consequences. The device had torn through space-time like paper, and he was not sure what long-term effects that might have. The Galactic Council convened an emergency session for the first time in 300 years. Council members from across the galaxy participated through quantum communication links, their various forms of alarm evident despite the differences between species. High Counselor Veltharos of the Ancient Assembly called the session to order, with grave concern in his telepathic voice. "Fellow council members," he began, "we face an unprecedented situation. The species we have been monitoring in the Sol system has achieved faster than light travel through a method we do not understand and cannot predict." The chamber filled with sounds of distress from dozens of different species. The Galactic Council had spent millions of years carefully guiding the development of younger civilizations, ensuring that dangerous technologies were developed slowly and safely. Humanity had bypassed all their safeguards in a single afternoon. Lucas Martinez had no idea that his breakthrough had terrified some of the most advanced civilizations in the galaxy. He was too busy planning humanity's first journey to the stars. Captain Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of the UES Pioneer, humanity's first faster-than-light-capable starship. The vessel had been built in record time around Lucas Martinez's revolutionary drive system. 3 months after the breakthrough, on the Endeavor, they were ready for humanity's first journey to another star system. "All systems green, Captain," reported Navigation Officer Lisa Park from her station. "Dr. Martinez confirms the drive is operating within normal parameters." Jake nodded and looked out at the stars through the main view screen. In a few minutes, they would make the jump to Alpha Centauri, a journey that should take about 6 hours using their new technology. The mission was intended as a simple test flight, but Jake could not shake the feeling that they were about to change everything. "Initiate jump sequence," he ordered. The ship shuddered slightly as the drive engaged. Space around them seemed to bend and twist, and then they were somewhere else entirely. The familiar constellations had vanished, replaced by the brilliant triple star system of Alpha Centauri. But they were not alone. A massive fleet of alien spacecraft surrounded them in a perfect sphere formation. The ships were unlike anything human engineers had ever imagined, with flowing curves and surfaces that seemed to shift color in the starlight. Jake felt his mouth go dry as he realized that humanity had just made first contact with an alien. "Civilization! Captain!" Communications Officer Danny Kim called out with barely controlled excitement. "We're receiving a transmission on multiple frequencies. It appears to be some kind of universal translation protocol." The main screen flickered and displayed the image of a being that was clearly not human. The alien had 4 arms, an elongated head with large eyes, and skin that changed color as it spoke. Behind it, Jake could see other aliens of different species working at stations that looked surprisingly familiar. "Greetings, humans of the vessel Pioneer," the alien said in accented but clear English. "I am Admiral Kethvaros of the Galactic Council Fleet. We have been waiting for your arrival." Ambassador Elena Rodriguez stepped forward from her position near the captain's chair. She had been chosen to lead humanity's diplomatic efforts specifically for situations like this, though no one had really expected to encounter an entire alien fleet on their first test flight. "Admiral Kethvaros," she said carefully, "we are honored to meet you. I am Ambassador Elena Rodriguez, representing the United Earth Government. We were not aware that our test flight had been detected." The alien's skin shifted to what Elena hoped was a pleasant color. "Ambassador Rodriguez, your species has been under observation for several centuries. We monitor all developing civilizations to ensure their safe integration into galactic society." Jake noticed that several of the alien ships had moved closer, though they maintained a respectful distance. Their formation suggested they were ready for anything, but not necessarily hostile. Still, he kept his hand near the alert button that would signal Earth about their situation. "We are curious about your faster-than-light technology," Admiral Kethvaros continued. "Our scientists would like to understand how you achieved this breakthrough." Dr. Lucas Martinez joined the conversation from his position at the science station. "Admiral, Our method involves creating controlled tiers in space-time using exotic matter resonance. The theoretical foundation is based on human quantum mechanics research. The alien's reaction was immediate and disturbing. His skin turned a dark purple color, and his forearms began moving in what looked like agitated gestures. Behind him, other aliens were clearly having animated discussions. "Dr. Martinez," the Admiral said slowly, "you are telling us that your species has learned to tear holes in the fabric of space itself?" "That's a somewhat dramatic way to put it," Lucas replied, "but essentially accurate. We create temporary tunnels through higher dimensional space." Elena noticed that more alien ships were arriving at the edge of the system. The original fleet of 30 vessels had grown to over 100, and they were all maintaining positions around the Pioneer. She began to suspect that this was not a routine first contact situation. "Ambassador Rodriguez," Admiral Kethvaros said, "I must inform you that your species has achieved something that our scientists considered impossible. Every civilization in the galaxy develops faster than light travel through controlled spatial folding techniques that require centuries of careful research and testing. How long did it take your species to develop FTL travel?" Elena asked. "Approximately 800 of your years, from initial theory to practical application. Most species require similar time frames to ensure safety and stability." Jake felt a chill run down his spine. "Admiral, are you saying that our method is dangerous?" The alien's skin shifted through several colors before settling on a deep blue. "Captain Morrison, your method is beyond dangerous. You are essentially weaponizing space-time itself. The potential for catastrophic accidents is enormous." Dr. Martinez bristled at the suggestion. "Our tests have been completely successful. We've run hundreds of simulations and conducted extensive safety protocols." "Dr. Martinez," the Admiral replied, "you have conducted 3 months of testing on a technology that could potentially destabilize entire star systems. Most Council species spend decades testing each component before attempting their first interstellar flight." Elena realized they were dealing with a civilization that valued careful, methodical progress over rapid innovation. "Admiral, perhaps we could arrange for our scientists to work together. We could share our research and learn from your experience." The suggestion caused another wave of agitated discussion among the aliens. Admiral Kethvaros seemed to be receiving reports from his subordinates, and none of the news appeared to be good. "Ambassador Rodriguez," he said finally, "the Galactic Council has convened an emergency session to discuss your species. This is only the 3rd time in recorded history that such a session has been called. I hope we have not caused offense," Elena said diplomatically. "Offense is not the correct term," the Admiral replied. "Terror would be more accurate." Jake looked at his crew and saw his own concerns reflected in their faces. Humanity had reached for the stars and found a galaxy, full of aliens who were afraid of what humans might do next. The test flight to Alpha Centauri had become something much larger and more complicated than anyone had planned. The Pioneer hung in space surrounded by alien vessels, while somewhere in the depths of the galaxy, the most advanced civilizations, in known space, debated what to do about the unpredictable new species that had just announced itself with a technology that terrified them all. High Counselor Veltharos of the Ancient Assembly had lived for over 3,000 years, but he had never seen the Galactic Council chambers filled with such anxiety. Representatives from 47 different species had gathered on Nexus Prime, either in person or through quantum communication links. The emergency session called to discuss humanity had brought together civilizations that normally communicated only through formal diplomatic channels. "Fellow council members," Veltharos began, his telepathic voice reaching every mind in the chamber, "we face a crisis unlike any in our recorded history. The species from Sol 3 has achieved faster than light travel through methods that violate fundamental principles we have held sacred for millions of years. Counselor Quarain of the Scientific Collective raised one of her 6 arms to request permission to speak. High Counselor, our preliminary analysis of human faster than light. Technology suggests they are literally tearing holes in space-time. This is not the gentle folding of dimensional barriers that all civilized species employ. A ripple of distress passed through the assembled representatives. The hegemony delegate, Zix Thara, displayed her anxiety through rapidly changing skin patterns. The energy signatures we detected during their test are consistent with weaponized spatial distortion. They could theoretically destabilize entire planetary systems. On Earth, President Catherine Hayes stood before an emergency session of the United Nations. The news of first contact had reached Earth through quantum communication relays, and the world was struggling to process the implications. The Pioneer remained in the Alpha Centauri system, surrounded by alien vessels that seemed more concerned than welcoming. Fellow leaders, President Hayes addressed the assembly, we have achieved humanity's greatest dream and discovered that we are not alone in the universe. However, our first contact suggests that our methods have caused concern among established galactic civilizations. General Peter Collins leaned forward in his seat at the Pentagon Situation Room, studying reports from the Pioneer. His military mind was already analyzing the tactical implications of faster-than-light travel. If the aliens were afraid of human technology, that suggested humans had developed something uniquely powerful. Ma'am, he said to President Hayes, through the secure communication link, if our FTL drive has these aliens worried, we need to understand why. This could represent a significant strategic advantage. Back on Nexus Prime, the Council's xenobiologist, Quarain, presented her analysis of human psychological profiles. High Counselor, humans appear to be naturally inclined toward rapid, intuitive technological advancement. Where most species follow careful, methodical development patterns spanning centuries, humans achieve breakthrough innovations through experimental leaps. Explain the implications, Veltharos requested. Their entire species seems hardwired for the kind of thinking that produces revolutionary technology without considering long-term consequences. They achieved faster-than-light travel in less than a decade from initial theoretical work to practical application. War Marshal Hix Dara of the Combined Defense Forces activated his communication array from his flagship in the Outer Territories. High Counselor, my forces are monitoring 17 different human research facilities. Their activity has increased dramatically since the Pioneer's departure. They appear to be developing improved versions of their spatial distortion technology. The news caused another wave of anxiety among the Council members. The crystalline hegemony representative, a being of living mineral formations, resonated at frequencies that translated as deep concern. They are continuing their research despite not understanding the potential consequences. Dr. Lucas Martinez worked feverishly in his laboratory aboard the Endeavour, unaware that his every action was being monitored by alien surveillance systems. Amanda Bell had made another breakthrough in their spatial distortion theory, and Ryan Clark was engineering improvements to the drive core that made the original design look primitive. Lucas, Amanda called from her workstation, the new resonance patterns are showing incredible efficiency gains. We could theoretically travel across the entire galaxy in a matter of weeks. Ryan looked up from his modified drive core. The power requirements keep dropping with each improvement. This latest design uses about as much energy as a household appliance. Lucas felt both excitement and a growing unease. They were advancing their technology at a pace that seemed almost reckless, but the possibilities were too incredible to ignore. Each breakthrough led to 10 new questions and 20 new possibilities. On Nexus Prime, Admiral Kethvaros transmitted his report from the Alpha Centauri system. High Counselor, the human vessel Pioneer remains cooperative, but their Dr. Martinez has described several theoretical improvements to their technology that our scientists find deeply disturbing. What kind of improvements? Veltharos asked. Apparently, they believe they can create stable wormholes for permanent transportation networks. They also mentioned something called cascade tunneling that could allow instantaneous travel across galactic distances. The council chamber filled with sounds of distress from dozens of different species. The idea of permanent wormhole networks managed by a species that had developed FTL travel in less than a decade was terrifying to civilizations that spent centuries planning each technological advancement. Councillor Quarain's skin had turned a pale green color that indicated extreme concern. High Councillor, if humans establish permanent spatial distortions throughout the galaxy, the cumulative effects could destabilize local spacetime on a massive scale. General Collins received classified reports about alien fleet movements from the Department of Defense monitoring stations. Over 300 alien vessels had gathered in the Alpha Centauri system, with more arriving hourly. The situation was beginning to look less like a first contact celebration and more like a potential military confrontation. "Mr. President," he advised during a secure call to the White House, "I recommend we accelerate our FTL development programs. If the aliens are gathering fleets to respond to our technology, we need to be ready for any scenario." President Hayes felt the weight of representing humanity in their first galactic crisis. "General, are you suggesting they might try to stop our research?" "Ma'am, I'm suggesting that scared aliens with superior numbers might try to contain what they see as a threat. We need to be prepared." High Councillor Veltharos called for a preliminary vote among the council members. All in favor of immediately implementing containment protocols for the Sol system, indicate your decision. 31 of the 47 council members voted in favor of containment. The decision meant that humanity would be presented with an ultimatum: abandon their faster-than-light research and submit to council oversight, or face quarantine from galactic civilization. As the council session concluded, Veltharos felt the weight of making decisions that could affect billions of lives across dozens of species. Humanity had achieved something remarkable, but their approach threatened the careful balance that had maintained galactic peace for millions of years. The message was prepared and transmitted to Admiral Kethvaros with instructions to present the Council's ultimatum to the humans within 24 hours. The galaxy waited to see how the unpredictable species from Sol 3 would respond to their first major diplomatic crisis. Admiral Kethvaros stood on the bridge of his flagship, preparing to deliver the Galactic Council's ultimatum to humanity. The communication array connected him directly to the UES Pioneer, where Captain Jake Morrison and Ambassador Elena Rodriguez waited for what they suspected would be unwelcome news. "Ambassador Rodriguez," the Admiral began, his skin displaying formal diplomatic colors, "the Galactic Council has reached a decision regarding your species and your faster-than-light technology." Elena felt her stomach tighten. The gathering of hundreds of alien vessels around their single ship suggested that the Council's decision would not be favorable. "We are prepared to hear your message, Admiral." "The Council offers humanity two choices," Kethvaros continued. "You may abandon your current faster-than-light research, submit to Council technological oversight, and accept gradual integration into galactic society over the next 500 years. Alternatively, you may continue your research in isolation, while the Sol system is quarantined from all galactic contact." Captain Morrison felt anger rising in his chest. "Admiral, you're asking us to choose between abandoning our greatest scientific achievement or being imprisoned in our own solar system." "Captain, the Council is offering humanity the same careful development path that has been successfully followed by every other species in the galaxy. Your current technology poses unacceptable risks to galactic stability." Dr. Lucas Martinez activated his communication array from the science station. "Admiral Kethvaros, with respect, your Council's approach assumes that our technology is inherently dangerous. We have conducted extensive testing and safety protocols." Admiral Kethvaros' skin shifted to a dark red color. "Dr. Martinez, you have conducted 3 months of testing on technology that could potentially tear holes in the fabric of reality. The crystalline hegemony spent 400 years testing their first faster-than-light drive before attempting interstellar travel. Back on Earth, President Hayes convened an emergency cabinet meeting in the White House Situation Room. General Collins had recommended immediate military preparations, while Secretary of State Margaret Wilson advocated for diplomatic solutions. The weight of representing humanity in their first galactic crisis fell squarely on her shoulders. The aliens are essentially demanding that we surrender our technological independence, General Collins argued. If we submit to their oversight, we become a client species under their control. Secretary Wilson disagreed. General, we're talking about civilizations that have existed for millions of years. Perhaps their caution comes from experience we lack. President Hayes studied the reports from the Pioneer. What are our military options if negotiations fail? Limited but not hopeless, Collins replied. Our FTL technology gives us mobility advantages they don't expect. We could potentially evacuate key personnel and equipment to hidden locations outside the solar system. Meanwhile, Dr. Amanda Bell made another breakthrough in her laboratory aboard the Endeavour. Her latest theoretical work suggested that human, faster-than-light technology was not just different from alien methods, but fundamentally superior in several important ways. "Lucas!" she called excitedly. "I think I understand why the aliens are so afraid of our technology. Look at these calculations." Lucas examined her data and felt his understanding of the situation shift dramatically. "Amanda, according to this, our method doesn't just avoid the limitations of traditional FTL drives, it actively repairs space-time distortions caused by other technologies." Ryan Clark looked up from his engineering console. "Are you saying our drives could fix damage caused by alien FTL systems?" "More than that," Amanda replied. "Our technology appears to naturally stabilize local spacetime. The tiers we create are self-healing and actually strengthen the fabric of space around them." The implications were staggering. If Amanda's calculations were correct, human FTL technology was not dangerous to galactic stability. It was potentially the solution to problems that alien civilizations had been struggling with for millennia. Ambassador Rodriguez received the new data from Earth and realized that humanity's response to the Council's ultimatum needed to be completely reconsidered. Instead of defending their technology, they could offer it as a gift to the galaxy. "Admiral Kethvaros," she said, "we have new information about our faster-than-light technology that the Council should consider before we respond to their ultimatum." "Ambassador, the Council's decision is final. You have 24 hours to choose between compliance and quarantine." "Admiral, what if we could prove that our technology actually benefits galactic stability rather than threatening it?" The alien's skin shifted through several colors before settling on a skeptical blue. "Ambassador, our scientists have analyzed your technology extensively. The risks are well understood." Dr. Martinez joined the conversation. "Admiral, respectfully, your scientists have analyzed our technology from the perspective of their own methods. Our latest research suggests that human FTL drives naturally repair space-time damage caused by traditional folding techniques. This claim caused immediate activity on the alien vessels. Admiral Kethvaros was clearly receiving urgent communications from his scientific staff and from the Council chambers on Nexus Prime. High Counselor Veltheros interrupted the transmission from the Council chambers. "Dr. Martinez, you are claiming that your technology can repair the cumulative space-time stress that has been building throughout the galaxy for millions of years?" "High Counselor," Lucas replied, "our preliminary calculations suggest exactly that. Human FTL drives don't just avoid causing damage, they actively heal existing distortions in the fabric of space." The revelation caused chaos in the Council chambers. For over 2 million years, the galaxy's civilizations had been careful to limit their faster-than-light travel because each journey caused tiny amounts of cumulative damage to space-time. The total effect was gradually weakening the structure of reality itself. Counselor Quarrain activated her emergency research protocols and began analyzing the human data with the most advanced computers available to the scientific collective. Within hours, her preliminary results confirmed what Dr. Martinez had claimed. "High Counselor," she reported, "the human methodology does indeed appear to naturally repair space-time distortions. If their claims are accurate, their technology could reverse millions of years of accumulated damage." General Collins received reports that alien fleet movements had changed dramatically. Instead of maintaining threatening positions around human vessels, the alien ships were repositioning into research formations. Whatever humanity had told them was causing significant changes in alien behavior. War Marshal Hicks Dara transmitted from his flagship. "High Counselor, if the humans are correct about their technology, we need to completely reconsider our approach. They may possess the solution to the space-time degradation crisis that we have been secretly managing for centuries. The crisis that the War Marshal referred to was known only to the highest levels of galactic government. Millions of years of faster-than-light travel had created a slowly expanding region of unstable space that threatened to eventually consume entire star systems. The Council had been working desperately to find solutions while hiding the problem. From the general galactic population, President Hayes received an updated message from Ambassador Rodriguez. "Madam President, the situation has changed dramatically. Instead of facing an ultimatum, we may be in a position to offer assistance with a galactic emergency that has been hidden from most alien civilizations." "Explain," Hayes replied. "Our FTL technology appears to be the solution to a problem that has been threatening the galaxy for millions of years. We've gone from being seen as a dangerous new species to potentially being the salvation the galaxy has been waiting for." Admiral Kethvaris received new instructions from the Council. The ultimatum was officially withdrawn, pending emergency analysis of human claims about their technology's benefits. For the first time since first contact, the Admiral's skin displayed colors associated with hope rather than fear. The galaxy held its breath while the greatest scientific minds of dozens of civilizations worked to verify humanity's claims about their revolutionary faster-than-light technology. High Counselor Veltharos stood before the assembled representatives in the Emergency Council session, preparing to reveal a secret that had been hidden from the galaxy for over 300 years. The discovery that human faster-than-light technology might solve their greatest crisis had forced the Council to abandon their policy of secrecy. "Fellow Council members," he began, "the time has come to discuss the degradation crisis openly. The humans may have provided us with the solution we have desperately needed." Counselor Quarrain activated the main display, showing a three-dimensional map of the galaxy. A slowly expanding sphere of red marked the region where space-time had become dangerously unstable. The accumulated damage from millions of years of faster-than-light travel has created a zone of reality breakdown approximately 400 light-years in diameter. The revelation shocked the younger council members who had not been informed of the crisis. Representatives from dozens of species displayed various forms of distress as they realized the scope of the problem that had been hidden from them. Dr. Lucas Martinez studied the data being transmitted from the council chambers to the Pioneer. The mathematics were complex, but the implications were clear. The galaxy was slowly destroying itself through the cumulative effects of traditional faster-than-light travel. "Amanda," he called to his research partner, "look at these space-time stress measurements. The damage has been building for millions of years." Amanda Bell examined the alien data and compared it to her own calculations about human FTL technology. "Lucas, our drives don't just avoid causing this kind of damage. They actively reverse it by strengthening space-time during each jump, Captain." Morrison listened to the conversation between the scientists while maintaining his position on the bridge. "Dr. Martinez, are you telling me that every time we use our FTL drive, we're actually helping to repair damage caused by alien technology?" "Exactly, Captain. Our method of tearing and immediately healing space-time appears to leave the fabric of reality stronger than before." War Marshal Hicks Dara transmitted classified information from his position, commanding the fleet's monitoring. The degradation zone. High Counselor, the unstable region has expanded by 12 light-years in the past century. Our projections indicate that expansion will accelerate exponentially if we cannot find a solution within the next 1,000 years. The crisis was even worse than most council members had realized. The degradation zone was not just expanding, it was accelerating its growth as it consumed more of normal space-time. Eventually, the damage would reach inhabited systems and begin destroying planets. General Collins received updated intelligence reports about alien fleet movements throughout the galaxy. Hundreds of vessels were converging on the degradation zone, while others were establishing research stations around human ships. The aliens were clearly preparing for something significant. "Mr. President," he reported to Catherine Hayes, "alien military activity has increased dramatically. They're positioning fleets around what appears to be a region of space they've been avoiding." President Hayes studied the intelligence reports. "General, do you think they're preparing to test our technology in some kind of dangerous situation?" "Ma'am, that's exactly what I think they're planning." Dr. Amanda Bell made another breakthrough while analyzing the alien data about space-time degradation. "Lucas, I think I know how to modify our drive system to actively repair large-scale damage. Instead of just strengthening space-time during jumps, we could create specialized repair pulses." Ryan Clark looked up from his engineering station. "Amanda, what kind of power requirements are we talking about for large-scale repairs?" "Surprisingly minimal," she replied. "The beauty of our technology is that it works with natural space-time properties rather than against them. We're essentially helping the universe heal itself." High Counselor Veltharos received the preliminary analysis from the scientific collective's best researchers. Counselor Quarain's team had confirmed that human technology could indeed reverse the space-time damage that threatened the galaxy. "High Counselor," Quarain reported, "human faster-than-light drives could theoretically repair the entire degradation zone within 50 years if applied systematically. Their technology is not just safe, it is exactly what the galaxy needs." Admiral Kethvaros received new orders from the Council. Instead of containing humanity, his fleet was instructed to provide full support for joint research and testing operations. The aliens were requesting human assistance with their greatest crisis. "Ambassador Rodriguez," he transmitted to the Pioneer, "the Galactic Council formally requests humanity's assistance with a galaxy-threatening emergency. We need your faster-than-light technology to repair damage that threatens billions of lives across thousands of worlds." Elena Rodriguez felt the weight of the moment. Humanity had gone from being a suspected threat to being the galaxy's potential saviors in less than 48 hours. "Admiral, humanity accepts your request. What do you need us to do?" "Ambassador, we need your scientists to work with our researchers to develop a systematic approach to repairing the degradation zone. We also need human vessels to conduct test repairs in the damaged region." Dr. Martinez felt both excitement and apprehension. "Admiral, what are the risks of working in a region where space-time is unstable?" Dr. Martinez, conventional vessels cannot enter the degradation zone safely. Reality breakdown makes traditional, faster-than-light travel impossible and threatens the structural integrity of normal matter. However, your technology appears to be immune to these effects. Captain Morrison realized that humanity was being asked to fly into a region of space where the laws of physics had broken down. "Admiral, are you asking us to be test pilots for experimental repairs in a zone where reality itself is falling apart?" "Captain Morrison, that is exactly what we are asking. Humanity appears to be the only species with technology that can operate safely in the degradation zone." The request was transmitted to Earth, where President Hayes convened another emergency session. The decision to help the aliens would require humanity to risk their most advanced ships and crews in a region of space that had defeated the galaxy's most sophisticated civilizations. General Collins advocated for careful consideration. Ma'am, we're being asked to fly into what amounts to a cosmic disaster area with technology we've had for less than 6 months, Secretary Wilson argued for cooperation. Mr. President, this is humanity's chance to establish ourselves as valuable partners rather than potential threats. The goodwill from helping solve a galactic crisis would be invaluable. President Hayes made the decision that would define humanity's role in galactic civilization. We'll help them. But we do this as partners, not as subordinates. Humanity participates in the solution as equals. The message was transmitted to the Pioneer, where Ambassador Rodriguez formalized humanity's agreement to assist with repairing the degradation zone. Dr. Martinez and his team began working with alien scientists to develop systematic repair procedures, while Captain Morrison prepared his ship for humanity's most dangerous mission. The galaxy watched as humans and aliens began their first major collaboration, working together to heal damage that threatened the existence of countless civilizations. Humanity's reckless approach to faster-than-light travel had become the galaxy's salvation. Captain Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of the Pioneer as they approached the edge of the degradation zone. The view screen showed space that looked wrong in ways that hurt to observe directly. Stars flickered in and out of existence, while patches of absolute darkness marked regions where space-time had collapsed entirely. "Captain," reported Navigation Officer Lisa Park, "our instruments are detecting reality fluctuations that make normal navigation impossible. The alien escort vessels have stopped at the boundary and are maintaining safe distance." Dr. Lucas Martinez monitored the specialized sensors that had been installed during their brief stop at the alien research station. "Jake, the space-time distortions here are unlike anything in our theoretical models. It's like the universe is trying to exist in multiple states simultaneously." Amanda Bell worked frantically at her modified console, analyzing the chaos ahead of them. "The damage is worse than," the alien data suggested. The original FTL travel didn't just weaken space-time, it created cascade failures that are still spreading. Admiral Keth Varos transmitted from his flagship at the boundary of safe space. "Captain Morrison, our long-range sensors cannot penetrate the degradation zone. You will be operating without external support once you cross the boundary." "Understood, Admiral," Jake replied. "How large is the damaged region we need to repair?" "The current zone is approximately 400 light-years in diameter, but it continues to expand. Our calculations suggest that without intervention, the cascade failure will reach inhabited systems within 800 years. Ryan Clark made final adjustments to the modified FTL drive that Amanda had designed for space-time repair operations. "Captain, the new drive configuration is showing green across all systems. We're as ready as we can be for something that's never been attempted before." The Pioneer crossed into the degradation zone, and immediately every system on the ship began registering impossible readings. Gravity fluctuated randomly. Electromagnetic fields twisted into configurations that violated known physics, and time itself seemed to flow at inconsistent rates. "My God," whispered Communications Officer Danny Kim as he watched his instruments. Display readings that made no sense. "Captain, I'm detecting radio signals from the past and future simultaneously." Dr. Martinez studied the sensor data with growing amazement. "Jake, the space-time damage here isn't just random destruction. There are patterns that suggest the original damage was caused by something much more advanced than traditional FTL drives." "What do you mean?" Jake asked. "I mean the degradation zone wasn't created by accumulated damage from millions of years of careful FTL travel. This was caused by someone using technology similar to ours, but without the self-healing properties." Amanda looked up from her analysis station. "Lucas is right. The damage patterns match what our drives would cause if we removed the automatic space-time repair functions. Someone else discovered our method millions of years ago and used it incorrectly." The Tao implications were staggering. An ancient civilization had developed human-style FTL technology, but had failed to include the safety mechanisms that made human drives self-healing. The result was a cosmic disaster that continued to grow millions of years after its creators had vanished. High Counselor Veltharos received the Pioneer's preliminary report with a mixture of fascination and horror. The Council had always assumed that the degradation zone was caused by accumulated damage from conventional FTL systems. The discovery that it resulted from failed attempts at human-style technology changed everything. Counselor Quarain, he, transmitted to the scientific collective's lead researcher, if an ancient civilization attempted to develop human-style FTL technology and failed, what does that tell us about the risks? High Counselor, it suggests that human success with this technology is not accidental. They have achieved something that defeated a species advanced enough to discover the same theoretical principles millions of years ago. War Marshal Hicks Dara monitored the Pioneer's progress from his command vessel. High Counselor, the human ship is operating normally inside the degradation zone. Their technology appears to be completely immune to the reality fluctuations that make the region impassable for our vessels. Captain Morrison ordered the first attempt at space-time repair. Dr. Martinez, initiate the healing pulse sequence. Lucas activated Amanda's modified drive system, sending carefully calibrated energy pulses into the damaged space-time around them. The effect was immediate and dramatic. The chaotic fluctuations in their immediate vicinity began to stabilize, and patches of normal space appeared where there had been only confusion. "It's working," Amanda reported excitedly. "The space-time fabric is responding to our repair pulses by restructuring itself into stable configurations." Ryan monitored the drive systems as they continued the repair sequence. "Power consumption is minimal, and the drive core is actually running cooler than normal. It's like the system was designed for this kind of work." As they continued deeper into the degradation zone, the Pioneer encountered increasingly severe distortions. In some regions, they found pockets of space where matter existed in impossible configurations. Other areas contained gravitational anomalies that should have been black holes, but somehow remained stable. "Captain," Danny Kim reported, "I'm detecting artificial structures embedded in the space-time distortions. Whatever civilization created this disaster, some of their technology is still here." Dr. Martinez focused the sensors on the artificial structures. "Jake, those aren't just ruins. Some of these installations are still active after millions of years." The discovery that ancient technology was still operating inside the degradation zone changed their mission from simple repair work to archaeological investigation. Jake ordered the Pioneer to approach one of the active installations while maintaining their space-time repair operations. The ancient structure was unlike anything in human or alien experience. It appeared to exist partially outside normal space-time, shifting between dimensions in ways that made observation difficult. As they approached, the installation began transmitting signals in mathematical patterns. "Captain," Dr. Martinez reported, "the signals appear to be instructional data about FTL technology. The ancient civilization is trying to teach us something." Amanda worked to decode the mathematical transmissions while continuing her space-time. Repair operations. "Lucas, this is incredible. The ancient data includes theoretical frameworks that we never considered. They achieved much more advanced applications of space-time manipulation than we have. But they obviously failed catastrophically," Jake pointed out. "What went wrong?" "From what I can understand," Amanda replied, "they developed the technology too quickly without understanding the long-term stability requirements. Their drives could manipulate space-time far beyond what ours can do, but they lacked the self-healing mechanisms that make our technology safe." Admiral Keth Varos received updates on the Pioneer's discoveries. "High Counselor, the humans have made contact with active installations from the ancient civilization responsible for the degradation zone. They are learning advanced applications of their FTL technology." High Counselor Veltharos felt both hope and concern. "Admiral, humanity is already advancing their technology beyond what we considered safe limits. If they learn to duplicate the ancient civilization's capabilities without repeating their mistakes, The implications for galactic civilization are enormous. The Pioneer continued its work inside the degradation zone, repairing space-time damage while learning from the civilization that had created the disaster millions of years earlier. Each discovery revealed new possibilities for human FTL technology and new questions about humanity's role in galactic civilization. Dr. Martinez made the most significant discovery while analyzing data from multiple ancient installations. Amanda, I think I understand what the ancient civilization was trying to achieve. They weren't just developing faster than light travel. They were attempting to engineer space-time itself on a galactic scale. The revelation that an ancient species had attempted to redesign the structure of reality itself explained both their failure and the scope of the disaster they had created. Humanity was walking in the footsteps of gods who had tried to remake the universe and nearly destroyed it in the process. Dr. Amanda Bell stared at the ancient mathematical formulas streaming across her display as the Pioneer continued its work deep inside the degradation zone. The long-dead civilization had left behind instructional data that revealed FTL technology far beyond anything humans had imagined possible. "Lucas," she called excitedly, "look at these calculations. The ancients didn't just achieve faster-than-light travel. They developed methods for instantaneous transportation across galactic distances." Dr. Martinez examined the data while monitoring their ongoing space-time repair operations. "Amanda, according to this, they could create permanent wormhole networks connecting distant regions of the galaxy. No wonder the Council is nervous about our technology." Captain Morrison listened to the scientific discussion while keeping one eye on the tactical display. "Dr. Martinez, if the ancients had technology this advanced, what happened to them?" "From what we can determine," Lucas replied, "they attempted to implement their galactic transportation network without properly understanding the cumulative effects on space-time stability. The result was a cascade failure that destroyed their civilization and created the degradation zone. Ryan Clark worked to integrate the ancient knowledge with their current drive systems. The ancients had the power but lacked the wisdom to use it safely. Our technology includes natural safeguards they never developed." High Counselor Veltharos received reports about humanity's discoveries with growing amazement and concern. The revelation that an ancient civilization had attempted to reshape galactic infrastructure using similar technology to humanity's FTL drives confirmed the Council's worst fears about uncontrolled technological development. "Counselor Quarain," he transmitted to the scientific collective's research teams, "if humans learn to duplicate ancient galactic engineering capabilities, what are the implications for our civilization? High Counselor, the possibilities range, from revolutionary advances that could transform galactic society to catastrophic accidents that could dwarf the original degradation zone disaster." War Marshal Hicks Dara monitored the situation from his command ship while coordinating with fleets positioned throughout the galaxy. "High Counselor, intelligence reports indicate that human research facilities have begun implementing technologies based on data transmitted from the Pioneer. They are advancing their capabilities at an unprecedented rate. The news that humans were already applying ancient knowledge to improve their FTL technology caused emergency sessions among Council military advisors. General Collins received similar reports about alien fleet movements and realized that humanity's rapid technological advancement was making the galactic powers increasingly nervous. "Ma'am," he reported to President Hayes, "alien military formations are taking defensive positions around key systems. They're preparing for the possibility that our technological development might threaten galactic stability." President Hayes felt the weight of making decisions that could affect the future of human civilization. "General, are they preparing to attack us or protect themselves?" "Both, ma'am. They want to be ready for any scenario." Inside the degradation zone, the Pioneer encountered a massive ancient installation that dwarfed anything they had previously discovered. The structure appeared to be some kind of central control facility for the failed galactic transportation network. "Captain," Dr. Martinez reported, "this installation contains complete technical specifications for galactic-scale space-time engineering. The ancients were attempting to create a transportation network that would have connected every inhabited system in the galaxy." Amanda worked to decode the massive data archives while continuing their repair operations. "Jake, this is incredible. They had plans for technologies that could reshape entire star systems, create artificial gravity wells, and even manipulate time flow on planetary scales." "Why did they fail?" Jake asked. "From what I can determine," Amanda replied, "they implemented their network too quickly without adequate testing. The cumulative effects of thousands of permanent wormholes destabilized space-time throughout this entire region of the galaxy." Ryan discovered something disturbing while analyzing the ancient control systems. "Captain, the installation is still partially active. It's been trying to complete its original programming for millions of years. The revelation that the ancient disaster was still ongoing rather than a historical event changed everything about their mission. The degradation zone was not just a region of damaged space-time. It was an active construction site where broken machinery continued attempting to build a galactic transportation network. Dr. Martinez made another crucial discovery while examining the installation's central core. "Amanda, the ancient system is trying to create new wormholes using the same flawed methodology that caused the original disaster. If it succeeds, the degradation zone could expand exponentially." "How do we stop it?" Jake asked. "We don't stop it," Amanda replied. "We fix it. The ancient system has the right goals but the wrong methods. We can use our space-time repair technology to correct their methodology and complete their network safely." The proposal to complete an ancient galactic engineering project that had destroyed its creators was ambitious beyond anything humans had previously attempted. Jake realized they were being asked to finish work that had been beyond the capabilities of a civilization millions of years more advanced than humanity. High Counselor Veltharos received the pioneers' proposal with a mixture of awe and terror. "Fellow council members, the humans are suggesting that they can complete the ancient galactic transportation network that destroyed its creators millions of years ago." "Is such a thing possible?" asked the representative from the crystalline hegemony. "According to their analysis," Counselor Quarain replied, "human FTL technology includes natural safeguards that the ancients lacked. They believe they can implement the network safely." Admiral Kethvaros transmitted from the boundary of the degradation zone. "High Counselor, the human ship is approaching the central control installation. If they attempt to activate ancient systems, the consequences could be catastrophic." "Or revolutionary," Veltharos replied. "If they succeed, the galaxy would have an instantaneous transportation network connecting all inhabited systems." The Council faced an impossible decision. They could order humanity to abandon their attempt to complete the ancient network, potentially missing the opportunity to gain technologies that could transform galactic civilization. Alternatively, they could allow humans to proceed with a project that had destroyed its original creators. Dr. Martinez worked with Amanda to develop procedures for safely interfacing their technology with the ancient control systems. "Amanda, we need to be extremely careful. One mistake could trigger another cascade failure that would make the original disaster look small." "Lucas, our technology is fundamentally different from what the ancients used, where they forced space-time into unnatural configurations. Our methods work with natural quantum properties to achieve stable results." Captain Morrison made the decision to proceed with the ancient network completion project. "Dr. Martinez, begin interface procedures. We're going to finish what they started, but we're going to do it right." The Pioneer connected its modified FTL. "Drive to the ancient control installation, beginning humanity's most ambitious technological project." As their systems interfaced with machinery millions of years old, space around them began to change in ways that would reshape the galaxy forever. Ryan monitored the power systems as ancient technology awakened under human control. "Captain, the installation is responding to our modifications. The ancient network is beginning to stabilize for the first time in millions of years." The galaxy held its breath as humanity attempted to complete a project that had defeated one of the most advanced civilizations in galactic history. Success would give every inhabited system instantaneous transportation to every other system. Failure could destroy space-time throughout the galaxy. The moment Dr. Lucas Martinez activated the interface between human technology and the ancient galactic network, space around the Pioneer began to transform in ways that defied comprehension. The chaotic distortions of the degradation zone started, organizing themselves into structured patterns as millions of years of accumulated damage began to heal. "Amanda," Lucas called out as data streamed across his displays. "The ancient network is responding to our modifications. The wormhole generators are stabilizing for the first time since the original disaster." Amanda Bell monitored the massive energy flows as dormant systems throughout the galaxy began awakening. "Lucas, I'm detecting activation signals from installations in over 10,000 star systems. The network was much larger than we realized." Captain Morrison watched the tactical display as space around them reorganized itself into something entirely new. "Dr. Martinez, what exactly are we creating here?" "Jake, we're completing the ancient civilization's greatest achievement. A permanent transportation network that will allow instantaneous travel between any 2 points in the galaxy." Ryan Clark worked frantically to maintain system stability as the ancient machinery drew power from their modified FTL drive. "Captain, power consumption is climbing beyond anything our systems were designed to handle, but the drive core is somehow compensating automatically." High Counselor Veltharos received emergency reports from monitoring stations throughout the galaxy as ancient installations began activating on thousands of worlds. "Counselor Quarain, what is the scope of what the humans have initiated?" "High Counselor, they have activated a galactic transportation network that connects virtually every inhabited system in the galaxy. The implications are beyond anything we have previously contemplated." Admiral Kethvaros watched from the edge of the former degradation zone as space itself began to heal. The chaotic distortions that had made the region impassable for millions of years were transforming into stable wormhole apertures that connected to destinations throughout the galaxy. "High Counselor," he reported, "the degradation zone is disappearing. The humans have not just repaired the damage, they have converted it into functional infrastructure." War Marshal Hicks Dara coordinated with fleet commanders as ancient installations became active on worlds throughout their territories. "High Counselor, the network appears to be conducting automatic safety checks before allowing transportation. The ancient civilization included safeguards we were not aware of." Dr. Martinez made a discovery that changed his understanding of what they had accomplished. "Amanda, the network isn't just a transportation system. It's a space-time management infrastructure that actively maintains galactic stability." "What do you mean?" Captain Morrison asked. "The ancient civilization wasn't just trying to build a convenient transportation network," Lucas explained. "They were trying to create a system that would prevent the kind of space-time degradation that eventually destroyed them." Amanda studied the data flowing from installations across the galaxy. "Jake, this network monitors space-time stress throughout the galaxy and automatically performs maintenance to prevent damage from accumulating. It's like a cosmic repair system." The revelation that humanity had activated a galactic maintenance system rather than just a transportation network changed everything about the political implications of their achievement. Instead of creating a potentially destabilizing technology, they had provided the galaxy with infrastructure that would prevent future disasters. President Hayes received reports about the global response to news that humanity had completed an ancient galactic engineering project. "General Collins, what is the international reaction to our achievement?" "Ma'am, there's a mixture of pride and concern. Some nations are demanding immediate access to the galactic network, while others are worried about the long-term implications of rapid technological advancement. What about alien reactions? The alien fleets have begun withdrawing from defensive positions. It appears they view our achievement as beneficial rather than threatening. High Counselor Veltharos convened an emergency session of the Galactic Council to address the new reality of galactic civilization. Fellow council members, humanity has fundamentally changed the nature of our galaxy. We must decide how to proceed with species that have achieved in months what we thought would require millennia. Counselor Quarain presented her analysis of the activated network. High Counselor, preliminary testing confirms that the system is completely safe and actually improves galactic stability. The humans have given us infrastructure that will prevent space-time disasters for millions of years. The crystalline hegemony representative resonated with frequencies that indicated amazement. How do we integrate a species that solves our greatest problems as side effects of their normal technological development? Dr. Martinez received a priority transmission from Earth as he worked to complete the network activation sequence. Lucas, this is President Hayes. The world wants to know what you've accomplished out there. Madam President, Lucas replied, we've given the galaxy a transportation and maintenance system that will allow any species to travel instantly to any other inhabited world. We've also provided infrastructure that will prevent cosmic disasters for millions of years. Dr. Martinez, you're telling me that humanity has become the galaxy's infrastructure maintenance service? In a way, yes, ma'am. Our technology is naturally suited for maintaining galactic stability in ways that other species cannot achieve. Ambassador Elena Rodriguez worked with Admiral Keth Varos to establish protocols for using the new galactic network. Admiral, what are the Council's requirements for regulating access to the transportation system? Ambassador Rodriguez, the Council has decided that since humanity created and maintains the network, humanity should establish the usage protocols. We are prepared to accept human leadership in this area. The admission that the Galactic Council was willing to accept human authority over galactic infrastructure represented a complete reversal from their original position of demanding technological oversight. Elena realized that humanity had accidentally achieved a leadership position in galactic civilization. Captain Morrison received confirmation that the network activation was complete. Dr. Martinez, what's our status? Jake, the Galactic Transportation Network is fully operational. Any ship equipped with compatible technology can now travel instantly between any 2 points in the galaxy. Amanda made final adjustments to their drive systems as they prepared to return to normal space. Captain, our ship is now the template for galactic transportation technology. Every species will need to modify their vessels to interface with the network we've created. Ryan monitored the power systems as they disconnected from the ancient control installation. Captain, our drive core has been permanently modified by interfacing with the ancient systems. We can now create and maintain wormholes on demand. The Pioneer emerged from the former degradation zone to find a galaxy transformed. Where there had once been a region of dangerous space-time distortions, there was now a hub of transportation routes connecting every inhabited system in the galaxy. High Counselor Veltharos transmitted personally to Captain Morrison. Captain, on behalf of the Galactic Council, I formally welcome humanity as senior partners in galactic civilization. Your species has achieved something that will benefit every civilization in the galaxy for millions of years. Dr. Martinez looked at the data showing transportation routes connecting thousands of worlds and realized that humanity had accidentally become the galaxy's technological leaders. Their reckless approach to faster-than-light travel had given them capabilities that more cautious species could never achieve. President Hayes addressed the United Nations with news that would reshape human civilization. Fellow leaders, humanity has not just made contact with galactic civilization. We have become its technological foundation. The galaxy now depends on human innovation for its continued stability and growth. The story that began with the Galactic Council watching humanity's FTL breakthrough in silent horror had ended with humanity becoming the galaxy's problem solvers and infrastructure providers. The species that had terrified ancient civilizations with their unpredictable technology had transformed the galaxy into something better than it had ever been before. As ships from hundreds of different species began using the human-maintained Galactic Network, the galaxy entered a new age of cooperation and exploration made possible by humanity's willingness to attempt the impossible and succeed where others had failed.